So I don't know if you've heard, but thanks to capitalism, Vietnam has been experiencing rapid economic growth. I'm not talking about the napalm and economic sanctions kind of capitalism, but rather the free markets and private property rights kind of capitalism.
Rainer Zittelman writes that after the war against the United States, Vietnam was one of the poorest countries in the world behind Somalia and Sierra Leone. The socialist government attempted to regulate their economy like the Soviet Union. The government controlled the businesses, the farms, the prices, the wages, and restricted imports. By the mid-1980s, the Vietnamese government admitted that their command economy had been a failure. Seeing the success of countries like South Korea and seeing the economic success of Vietnamese people buying and selling in illegal markets, the Vietnamese government began a series of pro-market reforms called Doi Moi. Over time, the government allowed farmers to produce on private plots, private companies were allowed to operate, trade agreements were signed, and nationalized businesses were given back to their original owners.
They even passed laws in the 80s and 90s saying, hey, if you invest capital in our country, we promise we're not going to steal it from you.
The share of people living on $3 a day or less has plummeted from nearly 60% in 1992 to this little number right here by 2022. The median income has increased from around $3 per day to almost $14 per day in 2022. GDP per capita has risen from around $2,000 to around $8,000. Zittelman concludes that the reduction of poverty in Vietnam over the last 30 years proves how nonsensical anti-globalization activists are when they argue that globalization means exploiting developing countries and robbing them of opportunities.